This learning is Le'ili Nishmas Broya Bas Chananya, Meseches Demai, Perek Mishnayos. Hanesin Lachamesei, someone who gives his mother-in-law, who's an Amaretz, food to prepare for him. So the halacha is Ma'aser Eshehu Nesin La. He needs to separate maestros from the food that he gives her. Ve'eshehu Neitel Mimeno, and he needs to separate maestros from the food that he takes from her. And the reason for this is because she is suspected that she will exchange the food if it gets ruined. If while she's preparing the food it gets ruined, we suspect that she will exchange it for better food and serve it to her daughter and son-in-law. And so therefore, they need to separate maestros from the food that they give her, because maybe she'll end up keeping it for herself. And they need to also separate maestros from the food that they take from her, because maybe it's different food from what they gave her, because maybe she exchanged it because it got ruined. And the reason why we suspect the mother-in-law of doing this is because Rabbi Yehuda said that Reitzehi b'sakanas bita, the mother-in-law wants the good of her daughter, that she should eat good food and not spoiled and ruined food. Ubaisha machasana, and she's embarrassed of her son-in-law to serve him food that got ruined. Now, not everybody agrees with Rabbi Yehuda. The other opinions hold that a mother-in-law would not exchange the food. Rather, she would serve the food as it is, even if it got ruined. And so the Mishnah continues and says that Rabbi Yehuda also agrees with this sometimes. Meide Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda agrees that if someone gives his mother-in-law food during Shvius, so then since the Isser of Shvius is very severe, so in such a case, Rabbi Yehuda agrees that she'ena chashuda lahachil es bita shvius. She is not suspected that she'll exchange the food and through that feed her daughter shvius, which is a very severe isser. And so in such a case, the person only has to separate maasros from the food either that he gives her or the food that he takes from her, because we say it's the very same food. So he just has to separate maasros once.